For more than 2,000 years, China's dragon throne belonged to men. Only one woman ever took the title of emperor in her own name. Her rise began not with an army, but inside the imperial palace. She entered as a teenage concubine, survived a convent, displaced an empress, ruled through her husband and sons, and finally declared that heaven had chosen her. Her name was Wu Zetian. To her enemies, she was a murderer and usurper. To her defenders, she was a capable ruler condemned for doing what male emperors had always done. The truth lies somewhere between admiration and horror. Wu was born in 624, near the beginning of the Tang dynasty. Her father was a wealthy timber merchant who had supported the dynasty's founder. Unlike many girls of her age, Wu learned to read, study history, write, and discuss politics. At around 14, she was selected for the palace of Emperor Gaozong. The palace was a world ruled by rank, rivalry, beauty, and imperial favor. A forgotten concubine might spend her life behind its walls and leave no trace in history. Wu refused to disappear. A famous story says Gaozong once asked how she would control a wild horse. Wu answered, with an iron whip, an iron hammer, and if it still resisted, a dagger. The story may be legend, but later historians preserved it because it seemed to explain the woman she became. Yet during Gaozong's reign, Wu did not rise very far. When the emperor died in 649, tradition demanded that childless concubines leave the palace. Their hair was cut, and they were sent to Buddhist convents to live as nuns. For almost any other woman, the story would have ended there. But Wu had already attracted the attention of Gaozong's son, the new Emperor Gaozong. How their relationship began is unclear. What is certain is that Wu returned from the convent and entered Gaozong's palace because she had belonged to his father's household. Confucian officials considered the relationship scandalous. Gaozong did not care. The palace was divided between Empress Wang and Gaozong's favored consort Xiao. Wang reportedly encouraged Wu's return, hoping she would distract the emperor from Xiao. It was a fatal mistake. Wu became the emperor's favorite, bore sons, built alliances, and created a political network among servants and officials. Then came the death that has haunted her reputation for more than 13 centuries. In 654, Wu's infant daughter died. Later histories accused Wu of strangling the child herself and blaming Empress Wang, using the tragedy to destroy her rival. But the accusation, preserved by historians hostile to female rule, cannot be proved. The child may have died naturally, Wang may have been framed, or Wu may have committed the crime. We simply do not know. What we do know is that Gaozong turned against Empress Wang. In 655, he removed Wang and consort Xiao from power and made Wu his empress. The fallen women were later killed. Traditional accounts blame Wu. Whatever the exact method, she had not merely defeated her rivals, she had erased them. But becoming empress was only the beginning. Emperor Gaozong suffered from periods of poor health, including severe headaches and impaired vision. Wu began reviewing documents, advising on appointments, and participating in state decisions. At court, she sat behind a screen while officials addressed the emperor. The screen concealed her body, but not her authority. Soon, people referred to Gaozong and Wu as the two sages. Officially, China still had one emperor. In practice, power was increasingly shared. Wu understood that the old aristocratic families would never fully accept her. Her own family did not belong to the highest hereditary elite, so she weakened their monopoly by promoting officials selected for ability, education, and loyalty. She expanded the imperial examinations, encouraged talented men from less powerful backgrounds, and personally questioned candidates. This gave her officials whose careers depended on the throne rather than ancient family names. She reduced some taxes, supported agriculture, sponsored scholarship, and elevated capable administrators, some of whom later served the restored Tang. This is one of the great contradictions of Wu Zetian. The ruler, remembered for secret police and executions, was also remarkably skilled at recognizing talent. When Gaozong died in 683, Wu's position became dangerous. A widowed empress was expected to guide the next emperor, then withdraw. Wu had no intention of withdrawing. Her eldest surviving son became Emperor Gaozong. Within weeks, he tried to appoint his wife's father to enormous power. Wu removed him from the throne and replaced him with another son, Ruozong. Ruozong wore the crown, but his mother ruled the empire. Tang princes and loyalist officials rebelled. Wu crushed them, and members of the royal clan were imprisoned, exiled, or killed. She also created a system that encouraged people to report conspiracies directly to the government. Informers traveled to the capital under official protection. Secret police officials used interrogation and torture to uncover enemies, real or imagined. Fear entered the court. An official could attend court in the morning and disappear by night. Old families learned that their names could no longer protect them. Wu's violence was real, but it also served a political purpose. Every rival she removed made it easier to imagine something once considered impossible: a woman ruling not as Empress Dowager, not as regent, but as emperor. The greatest obstacle was not military. It was cosmic. Chinese emperors ruled through the mandate of heaven. Political authority was tied to ritual, ancestry, and a deeply patriarchal understanding of the universe. A woman could influence the throne, but how could she become the son of heaven? Wu found her answer in Buddhism. Her supporters promoted a Buddhist text predicting the arrival of a divine ruler who would bring order to the world. They argued that the sacred figure had appeared in the person of Wu. Temples, ceremonies, and religious language transformed political ambition into heavenly destiny. She did not merely ask China to accept a female emperor. She claimed that the universe itself had chosen one. In 690, Wu ordered her son to yield the throne. She ended the Tang dynasty, founded her own Zhou dynasty, and took the title of emperor. She was about 66 years old. The former concubine, the former nun, and the widow who was supposed to retire now sat at the center of the Chinese world. At Luoyang, she adopted grand titles, created new written characters, sponsored Buddhist art, and presented herself as both sacred and political ruler. Yet the older she became, the more fragile her dynasty appeared. Wu had built a new order around herself, but she could not escape one basic question: who would inherit it? A son would restore the Tang family. A nephew from the Wu clan would displace her own children. Her empire could accept one extraordinary woman. It was far less willing to accept a permanent Wu dynasty. In old age, Wu favored two young brothers, Zhang Yizhi and Zhang Changzong. They became her companions and gained political influence, provoking resentment across the court. In 705, while Wu was seriously ill, a group of senior officials entered the palace, killed the Zhang brothers, and forced her to surrender power. The Tang dynasty was restored under her son Gaozong. Wu Zetian died later that year, at about 81. She was buried beside Emperor Gaozong at the Qianling Mausoleum. Near the tomb stands one of the most mysterious monuments in Chinese history, a stone tablet traditionally associated with Wu that bears no inscription, a blank monument for a woman accused of wanting history. To praise her. Why was nothing written? Perhaps she wanted history to judge her. Perhaps no inscription could contain a life filled with achievement, violence, intelligence, and contradiction. For centuries, male historians portrayed Wu as a warning, immoral, unnatural, and dangerously ambitious. Some accusations may be true. Others were shaped by the belief that a woman who ruled men had violated nature. It is important not to turn Wu into an innocent victim of history. She used fear, She destroyed opponents. Her road to power was marked by imprisonment, purges, executions, and possible murder, yet male emperors had done the same, often without having their reign reduced to their gender. Wu Zetian did more than seize a throne. She exposed the rules beneath it. The empire claimed that political power came from heaven, yet heaven's will was interpreted by officials, rituals, armies, and whoever controlled the palace. Wu mastered every one of those forces. She understood that legitimacy was not simply inherited. It could be constructed. She promoted talent because she needed officials outside the old aristocracy. She supported Buddhism because it offered a language of authority beyond Confucian patriarchy. She ruled through her sons until she no longer needed them, and when the moment came, she did not ask permission to become emperor. She declared that she already was one. Was Wu Zetian a monster? Perhaps at times. Was she a great ruler? In many ways, yes. But the most honest answer is that she was neither the demon of traditional history, nor the flawless heroine of modern imagination. She was a ruler, brilliant, ruthless, insecure, strategic, and human. And perhaps that is what disturbed her enemies most. Wu Zetian did not prove that women ruled more gently than men. She proved that a woman could master power just as completely.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and subscribe to the Ninth Courtyard. Beyond the first 8 courtyards lies the story you were never told.